Alright guys, we did a thing! Hey everyone, welcome back to the Reptile Room. Today, we're going to talk about the plated lizard over here and the couple of new ones that we picked up. I just got back from UPS, guys, picking this up. Underground Reptiles, man. Freaking awesome. Overnight shipping, hold at the location, whatever you got to do to get your little critters. So let me go ahead and open these up and get them out and set them in our little quarantine tub here. And you'll see what we got. Do you see what's in there? Our quarantine tote here is actually a pretty big. It's bigger than it actually is, and I just put a whole bunch of fresh cocoa fiber and the cork bark in it, and I'm gonna stick a little heat mat under it since they're new here. Oh, look at how pretty. So this should be the male. Just a good look at the underside. Hi, little bud. This should be our new little lady. Here's the underside. All right. A little bit of light misting just to get them going. Oh yeah, guys. Ever since I found this plated lizard on Craigslist and went and got it, which you can go back in the past and see in previous videos, I have kind of fallen in love with them. They're pretty different. I don't really see many of them in anybody's collections. They can be found over in West Africa and Africa in general, in the savannas, around some termite mounds, rock piles, kind of almost in similar places to ball pythons. They are kind of like the ball python of the lizard world, I think, but they're pretty docile. You can easily handle them, even if they're fidgety. They're just flighty. They just want to try to run out of your hand. And I'll give you a couple of tips that have worked for me on handling these guys. So you just saw we came and got these new plated lizards, and I don't want to make them freak out too much. Fun fact, they do have some really big ears, so that's probably one part of why they're so skittish. So you might just want to be a little bit more calm when you're dealing with them, but these are the brand new ones that we just got. Sent from Underground Reptiles, super cool. And you can really see the red here? Oh man, that is definitely a male. And then this is another female over here, and ours that we have is a female. So one goal of mine is to try to produce a couple of these captive bred. These were farm raised, and you can see some of the little blemishes and whatnot throughout there. That's pretty typical of a farm raised or wild caught specimen. These look really great. All their toes, all their little claws, the tails are complete, and I'm just super pumped. So I am letting them soak, and I've been bathing them because they've been a little bit dry when they've been here, and I've been misting them and whatnot, but he seems to have a little bit of stuck shed on his sides, and I'm just really wanting to see that bright red on the sides. Let's talk about some care. These guys are omnivorous. They like insects. They will eat some plants, some little collard greens, shredded up greens, and whatnot. Our original plated lizard over here has never, ever, ever eaten that. So I wonder if that's due to an age sort of thing. When they're a little bit younger and smaller, they're more voracious. All of her food is coated with Reptile, so I get a little bit more vitamins and some calcium in there, just to kind of offset during the winter months. We do plan to take her outside, take the whole little group outside for the summertime and see what happens. Build big, another enclosure outside for them. You want to have some UVB in there for sure. We have 3, we have 1 male, 2 females. The females can lay 2 to 4 eggs. Not really seen any evidence. No one's really talking about it. No one's writing it down. So that's what really spurred me on to get really interested in the plated lizards. There are so many. Now these are Gerrhosaurus Major, and that is up in the air a little bit. They could be the Broadlysaurus. They've done some genetic testing, and certain ones end up being more ancient. I don't know, it's a huge crazy rabbit hole, and if you want to fall down it with me, I am going to continue to make some plated lizard videos here over the coming weeks and months. This year is going to be pretty fun for us with the plateds for sure. This is like our really fun project. These guys aren't expensive. That's why a lot of people aren't captive breeding them. The same thing with the basilisks, the emerald basilisks. They aren't really an expensive lizard. I just think they're really entertaining, and not all the fun lizards have to be expensive. These guys are great, and if you like ball pythons and whatnot, and you like setting up really cool enclosures that have a lot of hides and a lot of space, if you want a lizard that's really active and is going to be willing to work with you, even when these new ones came out, you saw they may have been cold from shipping, but they really didn't mess around with me too much. They didn't try to squirm or get out. Even when moving them over here to put them in here, they really didn't do too bad. You just want to be sure that one thing is, here, I'll use the male here for example, because he is typically a little bit feistier. So one thing you want to do is you really just want to support their whole body. Make these lizards feel comfortable. They'll do really good for you if you just make them feel comfortable. You know, let them relax, sit in your hand. I am just holding him over here, not restraining him. He knows what's up. See, he's getting interested now. But these guys really aren't too bad. They're pretty easy to deal with, I think. He's actually doing very good. So let me get him back in here. And then let's go with the female. So again, just getting underneath, putting the whole body up onto my hand, and letting the tail down the arm. Look at that. See, these guys probably hadn't been handled too often. And look at how big the animal ends up being, all the way down to the inner crevice of my elbow. Super fun animals. I really think that if you're contemplating a lizard, that this could be a really interesting lizard for you to try. Definitely try to find a captive bred. You know, again, I hope to produce a couple, so feel free to reach out to me. I can put you on a list. They're so fun. They're very active. All right, let's go ahead and talk enclosure. So one thing that I have been messing around with as far as enclosures is just adding all kinds of hides. Just anything that you think might be able to be a hide is a hide. So I put a giant cork round in here. Those cork rounds are great because that offers a whole lot of options. You can use big chunks of wood, rocks. These guys like to live in rocks. And that is one thing, if you look on the side of the body, you'll see that line across the bottom. Their armored scales, their keeled armored scales go down to their belly, and then they actually have a whole line around their body that is a soft spot so that if they get scared and there's a predator coming for them, they can run into a rock crevice and just take in a deep breath and inflate themselves, and you are not getting them out of there. So that is their defense mechanism. They're very fast. They run away. Those short little legs, way faster than you think. Last year we put our first one out in Ronnie's big outdoor enclosure. Check those videos out. And that lizard just ran around all day, checking everything out, just enjoying it. And I really want to do that over the summer. So in the winter, I want them to have a nice indoor enclosure here in the Midwest, and so that they can have a lot of space to move around. In the enclosure itself, you want to have a deep substrate. I do see them dig. An interesting idea I had for an enclosure, since they like to tunnel and run around, was think about these guys like maybe how ant farms could be done, how you have pipes connecting one enclosure over here and one enclosure over here, and you have a clear tube or something. What if I had one enclosure side on one side of my room and one over on the other side, and connected it with like a clear corrugated pipe, or even had 2 or 3 with like some shutoffs? I don't know, I'm thinking outside the box a little bit more with some crazier ideas for enclosures. Well, that's all the information I have on the plated lizards right now, just because there's so much, and the plans that I have for these guys over the coming months are going to be getting them acclimated to each other. We'll do an intro between them here. They've only been here for maybe 2.5, 3 weeks now. I want to keep them separate. They've been pooping great. They've been eating great. They are very active, as you can see over here moving around. I'm going to keep, just shedding them out a little bit more here and getting them ready to go. But please stay tuned. Please subscribe if you like this video, and continue to check back. Go ahead and click those notification bells down there too if you just want to have the notifications every Saturday when I upload at 9:30 in the morning. All right, guys, we will see you next weekend.